All right, well, it's amazing to have you guys here. Thank you again so much for joining, and thank you to everybody else that's tuning into this Twitter Spaces. Now, to kick it off, I'd love to hear an introduction from each of you to get to know you better. And starting with Koala Buck, just why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Koala Buck. I'm founder of Koala Klub as well as Captain Koala. Um, and we got here from, it's almost been a year since we've been a project, to continuing to grow. Hedera was a like a big option for us like a big like there's a lot of options out there, and Hedera was one of the best ones when you looked at it and broke it down, and just overall was the reason why we chose to go on Hedera. And a few things that we're doing now is just getting ready for our Gen 2 mint on Saturday. Um, yeah,
I saw it's very exciting.
thank you.
Well, you have to tell us more about that further in. Koala Mal, would you also like to give us a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, appreciate you having us on here and able to use your platform to talk a little bit about the project and ourselves. So yeah, my name is Koala Mall. So I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of Koala Hash Club. The project started back in November 2021. So like Buck was saying, about a year ago. And I came on board, I think about March 2022. So a couple months after the project had launched. Originally it was just kind of a member within the community. Had a bunch of koalas in my wallet, and so I was one of like the first 50 EVIP members to kind of join, and just basically I really started to get close with Cap and Buck. Just kind of started feeding them a bunch of ideas, game plans I had, things that are going to help the project and move it along. So that way it wouldn't kind of be left in the wayside like a lot of the projects that unfortunately have not been as successful. So for some reason they decided to listen to me and started taking some of my ideas. So I really appreciate that. And then, in March, they officially decided to make me a member of the team. So, I'm really focused on kind of the big picture stuff. So a lot of major decisions within the project, some of the design and look, pretty much anything that involves, okay, like not just something that Cap and Book would decide on, but they, relay a lot of ideas and bounce things off me. And I kind of just use, some of my knowledge within the industry and the space to kind of help guide them. So once again, really appreciate it. And I want to go ahead and pass the mic.
Well, you guys have been pretty much from the beginning, and we know that a lot of people from the HeadStarter team do have some koalas of their own, and there was one collaborative HeadStarter NFT that we dropped with you guys, and that was a big auction, right? A big auction win. Could you guys tell us a bit about that event?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we had it was for the charity auction that we did in May, and the proceeds were for Mental Health Awareness Month because it was in May. And the collaboration was to raise funds, so people, it's a lot of times to get easily like in a spiral when you're in the space, and there's a lot of hardships that come along with being in here, either from social life, money loss, or any of the following. And we just wanted to spread awareness of like you're not alone, and that's why we went with HeadStarter to get a collaborative piece and just spread the message out there.
It was great that you guys dedicated the donations of the proceedings from the sale to such an important cause. Just to remind everybody, the Hedera Ecosystem Spotlight series is something that we run every couple of weeks, and we try to bring the best projects in the Hedera space to speak about how they're utilizing the Hedera infrastructure, native services, and intrinsic capabilities, so that we get to know the projects better. And I'm excited also to have along Koala Klub today. Patrick, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, we'll be happy to. So yeah, you already said my name is Patrick. I'm actually a crypto enthusiast. I have a background of 20 years in design and concept making, together with my brother, actually, Marcel. We all believe actually that all new technology in the coming years will be running on blockchain. And at this moment, personally, myself, I live in France, in the countryside. Where luckily now we have a fiber optic connection, by the way, or I could not have done this project if it weren't for that. So yeah, even in these rural areas, progress is being made. So I'm going to say a little bit about the other two founders as well, because it's not a solo show, of course. The whole team is involved. So my twin brother, that's Marcel. He's a big funder of our project, as is Jorgo. So we are with three founders. So I do in-game design and communication. Marcel does marketing and other design aspects. And Jorgo is actually head of technology and game development. And we all have our partners in crime in the team for all these departments, of course. So the three of us, we saw the potential of this emerging market. We put together an amazing team, we think, and here we are building the first gaming metaverse on Hedera, based from the Netherlands. I'm the only one stuck in France. No, not the only one. No. It's Milan too, but let's not get too much in detail.
Thank you very much for that intro, Patrick. And I guess we all know Milan. He's a bit of a Hedera OG himself. Now that we know who you guys are, we'd love to hear more about the project that you've been working on. Both of you guys have done amazing things in the space and have a very large following. Patrick, would you like to tell us a bit more about Earthlings and the project itself, what you guys have achieved so far, and what's next in mind?
Yeah, it's hard to keep this brief. Actually, I'll try to do my best. So, Earthlings, we are a family-friendly steampunk fantasy-influenced gaming metaverse, where we really like to have gaming and design something that we want to really excel in. We think that good concept gameplay is very important, because we feel that that if you now still want to make a difference in this emerging market, because it's still actually a young market. I mean, let's be honest. 10 years ago, no one heard about metaverses. But you really need to step it up, because you don't want to be left with an empty metaverse where you can just meet and greet, but you really want to attract gamers this time. It's Marcel and I, when we talked about this, we said, yeah, it's cool to visit the concert in the metaverse, but let's be honest, visiting a concert in real life, so much more fun. So if you want to make a difference, that's not where you need to excel in, but good design, gameplay, that is something that will really now give you an advantage. That's what we believe if you make a new project like this, because if your metaverse is left empty in the long run, because gamers will really stay in, then you just have a big empty digital space. And people who have been following us for a while already, I think they already see that we're really focusing on great game design. Next up is, of course, also great gameplay. We're going to start simple with looking around the map for lost technology, animals that you can use, so that you can then sell them, implement, and we'll just be adding to that, implementing more gameplay as we grow. But we need to start, of course, step by step, baby steps. So we would like to see ourselves more also as a gaming metaverse, where play to earn is actually a feature, but gaming, that's what it's about. So that's a big aspect, of course, of our metaverse. But people who are here to own land in different sorts of ways, actually, they're being looked at as well, of course, because we are a metaverse. You will be able to own a shop, a train station, limited, by the way, so you're lucky if you get one of those. Start a business in any way you like. You can even be a taxi driver or an airship captain if possible. We really like to widen out the whole metaverse gameplay. So we try to incorporate all sorts of people, NFT collectors, quest players. I think that's an important one. Arcade games, land investors, maybe even, no, not maybe, they will be there, strategic players, team players, and so on. So it's not an easy task, I know that, and I can talk on for hours, but that because it's such a big thing that we're building, but it's an exciting challenge and we love to take it on. So I try to keep it short, but the project is too big to really do it in 2 lines.
I'm with you there. I think that a short introduction always for the passion for our projects, the ones that we're especially passionate about, is very hard to capture in a elevator pitch type of environment. So it's great to see how passionate you are, and we're also, all the community is watching to see Earthlings grow to the successful vision that you have. And speaking of passionate builders, I would like to issue the same question over to Koala Klub. If you can give us an intro about the project, what's happened so far, and what's up next.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So, Koala Klub, like I said in the a little bit in the introduction, we started back in November of 2021. Our mission is to make a difference in the world through NFTs. It's very hard to make a imprint when you're just one person, and it feels like it's impossible. So in order to accomplish these goals, we donate at least 2% minimum of all profits to charity, like koala sanctuaries, and then some miscellaneous like charity auctions that we do. So with and then we try to just include everyone and not really exclude anyone. We just try very hard to make everyone feel welcomed and just do the very best to just focus and spread a positive message. We're also working on like our Gen 2 is this Saturday, October 8th. The last drop we had, I believe, was in March. So it's been 6 months since we had a drop. So, the whole team is super excited working on that. So getting that put out very, 2 days, not even 2 days from now. So that's really like a huge thing for us. We're also working on a liquidation pool for our coin after Gen 2 is fully out. So that should be, before the end of the year. So that's some stuff that, we're working on right now. I could go on and on and on, as well as all the stuff we're working on. But yeah.
That's very exciting to hear, especially knowing how leading up to your Gen 2 drop, you've had all these milestones, events, and it seems like it's been something everybody has been looking forward to. So we're excited to see your drop this weekend.
No, that's very exciting. And 6 months in the crypto world can definitely feel like an eternity. So I'm sure a lot of koalas are looking forward to that. Now,
definitely.
Oh,
sorry, just chiming in real quick. I can say, like you mentioned, 6-7 months since our last event back in late February. In NFT world, it's like 6 or 7 years. So, we were a bit disappointed that we feel like we kind of missed out on some of the Hedera heat waves. So, hopefully we can have a successful Gen 2 launch and kind of keep the momentum going through the fall and winter. And like Buck mentioned, that will kind of lead into, our liquidity pool, hopefully getting launched by the end of the year on SoftwareSwap. So that'll allow us to start partaking in, their DeFi aspects. And then that will kind of lead into, our play to earn game, which we'll further discuss here in a second. So excited.
Yep, fantastic. Lots coming for the koalas. Very exciting. Now, to dive in a bit deeper, you guys mentioned building on Hedera was the obvious choice. And we were just curious why it is you chose to build in Hedera and why you think Hedera is primed to disrupt the NFT and metaverse market. Do the koalas want to go first?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and chime in. So, I think like a lot of people within the community, most started off just kind of as, Hedera enthusiasts, and we had a lot of HBAR in our pockets. So I think when people first kind of start getting into crypto, they figure out about Bitcoin and proof of work, then they eventually move on to proof of stake. So it's like kind of the next evolution was, when I first diving into crypto was discovering Hashgraph. And I was like, wow, man, this is clearly the future. If there's going to be a winner in the space, it has to be Hedera. So I think between the low predictable gas fees, obviously the speed of transactions, carbon negative, the security level. So it just was pretty much a no-brainer as to if we wanted to launch an NFT project, which one were we going to choose? Were we going to go on ETH? Were we going to go on Solana, Matic? At the end of the day, I think that a lot of people, like I said, in the space were Hedera enthusiasts. So once kind of some of the tools and the capabilities started launching, at the end of last year and beginning this year, it really allowed the space to flourish. So it's definitely been kind of a heck of a journey, but once again, it seemed like a no-brainer. If you're going to start a project within this arena, why wouldn't you build on Hedera?
Definitely, all the praise for Hedera. And Patrick, how about yourself?
Yeah, it's hard to say it better than they did, of course. For us, it was the technology as well. The thing is, we did look at other chains first as well, but some were proven to be so difficult to build on. We didn't Jorgo had to build on it, of course, the technology part of the whole thing. So he didn't even want to start. Then we had others that we looked at, and they were just not safe. And then I said to Jorgo, why don't look at Hedera, because I had it in my portfolio. Astonishingly enough, he didn't know about it yet. So maybe it's not good that I say that, but then when he looked into it, because he said, "Wow, Patrick, they're in the top 50. Why didn't I know that?" I said, "Well, you should have been paying attention. Wrong YouTube channels, probably." So he looked into it, and within an hour, he called me back. He said, these guys, this is so easy. And then he mentioned the low fees as well. And within, just for instance, it says as much about Jorgo maybe as about Hedera, because within just 2 days, he had the whole connection with Hashback, with help from them as well, the Hashback wallet set up, and he could actually mint. So that's how easy it is to build on Hedera, and I think that was one of the big pros that we said, wow, then this is the one. And it's a safe network as well. So and the koalas, they said it all actually.
I'm still astonished, whenever we go to crypto events and meetups, whatever, and some people either are surprised that we're building on Hedera, that we have such a vibrant community, or as you said, Patrick, many haven't even heard about Hedera, which is baffling to me at this point. But I'm sure that when things come around again, and everybody will have known about it, and it will be on everybody's radar. So I couldn't be excited for when the market turns, and when Hedera should be catching everybody's eyes, and we're taking all strides as a community together towards that point. It's been great. Last time we had over on the Ecosystem Spotlight series, we had Creamies, the Dead Pixels, and
Angry Baboons.
Yes, and they were great. How much of a cohesion we have in the NFT ecosystem on Hedera. Likewise, more in the DeFi space, we're all trying to help each other out. So it's great to know how passionate you guys are about your projects, and how you are here to make Hedera a better space. And already through your contributions to the space, you've established yourself more or less as a blue chip project. So, Patrick, you have your hand up. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Just wanted to jump into things that you said, because I think you're 100% right. Because the last few days, because I'm trying to reach out to other projects outside Hedera as well, to get more attention to the Hedera economy, so to say. But I've been diving into some other chains that chains that are also trying to start up these NFT projects, the same the way actually as Hedera does. And I was so surprised to find out that now actually Hedera is already starting to take the lead compared to some other even bigger chains that are in the it's in the top 30 actually, higher volumes, bigger in volume, bigger projects. But really, Hedera is taking the lead, so something is going very well here. So the approach that Hedera is now taking, it is looking to be like the right one, and apparently new projects see this. So we're doing great, I think. The Hedera ecosystem.
I couldn't agree more. By the way, so we have a set of questions that we will be asking our two projects today, but if anybody wants to jump in and have their own questions for either of our panelists, feel free to do so. For the next question, I wanted to ask you, why did you choose to venture into the world of play to earn and metaverse respectively, and which one would you say best describes your project? Patrick, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I just want to say who kicks it off. Okay, well, I'll do it. I've got enough words for 3, so koalas ain't got nothing on me. Okay, so anyway, yeah, well, my brother and I, we are actually long-time crypto fans already, and we were discovering NFTs a bit late last year. But it was actually only when we looked into the metaverse and play to earn a bit more that we saw that there was still a lot that could be improved upon in this space. It's a young space, but we saw during the bull run beginning this year that a lot of projects sold out. You know, even when they had no white paper or a one-page website, nothing but a few lines of text, no faces, no transparency, nothing, and so on, and they still sold out. So we spoke about it together, and we said, you know, I think we can do this better. So what we were already known with concept and design, and we had Jorgo, a good friend of ours, who could do the technology side. So we said, why not? We tried to tick all boxes, started a project with a great team, which I'm still very happy with. We have an awesome team. How do we describe our project? I think as a gaming metaverse, because we focus a lot on gaming. So not a metaverse gameplay, but a gaming metaverse where we will really try and deliver fun gameplay that even without the play to earn factor should be worth your time, because that's something that we want to change as well.
That's great. Sorry, go ahead, Tudor.
I was just going to say as well that's a very good description, and it sounds very interesting. Koala Klub, same question to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll go ahead and chime in on this. So yeah, I think Patrick kind of did a great job explaining, a lot about his project and kind of some of the goals and things he was looking to accomplish. And like Buck mentioned earlier, we rely extremely heavily on community input for our projects to kind of guide us in the right direction. And one of our main mission goals is to connect people across the globe. So we thought, what better way to kind of connect some people across the globe than through play to earn and through a gaming experience through an NFT project. So when we were kind of first looking into some ideas to kind of help provide utility to the project and our community members, we definitely noticed kind of a lack of the play to earn aspects, metaverse aspect within the Hedera space. So we decided to kind of go down that route. I definitely say we're not really obviously like a metaverse project, and it's more just the play to earn aspects within ours. So, kind of what our concept is going to be is, pretty simple play to earn game, player versus player, kind of similar to like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. So nothing too crazy or complicated. But we really just wanted to, again, provide some utility to our holders to where, we're going to have a separate spin-off collection of 256 NFTs. It's going to be called Koala Klub. If you own one of these NFTs, you'll basically get monthly access to tournaments that we'll be hosting, where people within our community can obviously chat, engage, have fun with each other. We found out we have a lot of gamers in our community, so we definitely thought this was kind of a good direction to take the project. And it'll help once again kind of increase the camaraderie and the cohesion within the community members that we already have. So unfortunately, we don't have the in-house developers to kind of create our vision of the game. So, over the past couple months, we've been interviewing a lot of professional gaming studios, looking at developers that have already built NFT games, play to earn games, on BNB, on ETH, on Sol, Matic, the whole works. So, we spent I don't know how many hours interviewing teams and projects to kind of fit or find the right fit for us. We can't officially announce which gaming studio we're partnering with because we're still finalizing some details. But I would say hopefully within maybe the next month or two, we should be able to announce that and start production. So just super excited. And once again, kind of the goal was to connect people across the globe and sort of provide further utility to our community members.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. You guys have done a great job. with the Koala NFTs, and now building further on top of that with your play to earn game. And speaking of that, I imagine you guys have put a lot of thought and time into that recently. What would you consider some of the unique play to earn concepts that need to be accounted for when building out a GameFi project?
Yeah, I mean, one of the main things, especially if we're hosting monthly tournaments, we want to make sure that obviously the game works properly. So from a development standpoint, we wanted to make sure that we have, proper integration with our wallets. Our utility token will be able to be distributed to match winners. A big problem a lot of times with, the gaming and play to earn aspect, especially if you're matching up against other players, or like if you're playing, PlayStation or Xbox, whatever it is kind of the degree and expertise of other people. So that's something that we'll probably have to work through to make sure that if you're constantly playing someone that's head and tails above you, you're probably going to lose that match pretty often, especially if you're paying a couple tokens to play the match, and whoever wins gets to earn those tokens. So that's something that our developers are looking into, and kind of some of the back end coding and algorithms that to put in place. A lot of that will come once we have kind of some data and statistics and information on a lot of the game player users. So once we kind of have an understanding, okay, these players are some of the top ranked players, then ideally the back end coding will be able to match them up to people that have essentially the same level of gameplay that they do. So that's probably one of the biggest issues I think we're going to encounter. But once again, in general, we want to just kind of create a play to earn experience and help build camaraderie within the community. And at the same time, one of the main goals for doing this play to earn game was to not only show the community that play to earn is viable on the Hedera network, but also show developers from other chains that, hey, if you're looking to kind of go down the play to earn route, why wouldn't you choose Hedera? Once again, it's the speed of transactions. If you have a utility token, the ease that you can send it, and the low gas fees, obviously the level of security network. So I think by having a successful play to earn game, especially ideally the first player versus player fighting style game, we'll be able to demonstrate to other developers and other chains that, if you're going to build a project, you got to come over there. That's pretty much the no-brainer option.
Definitely. I love to hear your enthusiasm. And for sure, so many variables come into play when designing a game like this. But I have no doubt you guys will do an amazing job listening to the community, to their feedback, and making adjustments based off of that. What more could a gamer ask for? That's fantastic. Patrick, how about yourself?
Yeah, we have. It was surprisingly, by the way, I'm saying a Dutch word there. I liked what they just said about taking into account the different levels of gamers that will onboard their gameplay. So that's actually something that I didn't think of. It's something else. It's something that we don't have to look at because it's not a concept than what they have. But hats off to them. It's good that they're taking into account these different levels. I like that. So the thing is, when we started our project, we did see the need that we really needed to change the game a bit. And I'm talking about the play to earn sector, because if you look at other play to earn games or metaverses that are now existing, and I'm seeing that Koala Klub is also paying attention about how to change things. But what we like to do is ask ourselves the question, would I play this if you take out the play to earn factor? Because that's something that we think is very, very important. Because if not, would it be sustainable long term? I mean, if you don't get real gamers on board, how long will your project really last? And that's something that we all need to think about, because that's changing the game in this metaverse, in this play to earn gaming environments. That's the word I was looking for. So also, how will you prevent gamers to not feel they are paying to earn? So it shouldn't be a pay to earn, it should be a play to earn. So because gamers, that's something that they really don't like. If you go to a game and you first need to pay, for instance, a very simple example is Axie Infinity. You need to buy these expensive birds, spend like $100, and then you need to hope that you can earn them back, So of course gamers will say it's a pay to earn, not a play to earn. So that's something that we really want to change. I think we have some great answers to this. We are implementing them into our gaming metaverse, and but we do think that this is one of the biggest hurdles that this industry needs to overtake. A second, just as important one, we think, is game design and play. We already showed some teasers of our world and released some city screenshots too, by the way. At this moment, we are laying out the first design of our user interfaces, which the team will probably put online anytime now on our Twitter space. So if you want to see them, just go to our Twitter page. So besides that, people like the design of our NFTs. So that's a compliment to Marcel, because Marcel works together with Kunal, and we think that a graphic designer together with 3D designer, that's really a golden combination. And yeah, so I'm very happy with my brother and Kunal working together. So yeah, what else? So we think we really need to step up in-game design, and we're seeing in the space already that this is really happening with some other projects and other chains already. So we're not the only ones seeing this, but more projects on Hedera as well. I think Ashfall is really, everyone knows Ashfall in the Hedera ecosystem. I think they're ramping it up as well. So that is, yeah, that's what we all should do. Because how are you going to onboard gamers if they are playing these awesome games, the awesome designed Fortnite, Overwatch, and Genshin Impact that I learned of through Kunal, our 3D designer, and then they have to go to our space. It needs to look the same. It needs to look at least the same. So there are some points that we really like to pay a lot of attention to.